Over the course of the past few decades, Alabama has solidified their position as the dumping ground for most of the toxic waste in the U.S. The Hazardous Waste Landfill in Amel, Alabama, is one of just 21 hazardous waste landfills across the United States. This number of landfills is excluding the 553 toxic release sites that nearly 28% of the population in Alabama lives near. Alabama, being one of the top receivers of hazardous waste, receives so much waste that one active trench site is large enough to hold 1.5 times as much as could fit inside the Pyramid of Giza, and nearly 24 more of these trenches are already filled and closed on the site. Alabama in the past has filled these landfills with PFAs, PCBs, toxic waste, sewage, and trash, with the EPA recognizing that hazardous waste landfills pose potential contamination risks to nearby residents during operation and post-closure. Landfill facilities meet stringent design, operation, and closure requirements under the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Proper planning, siting, and permitting are discussed by engineers to build environmentally safe areas to dispose of waste. Common types of landfills are traditional solid waste landfills, bioreactor landfills, and hazardous waste landfills. Both hazardous waste landfills and solid waste landfills contain liner systems and commonly include double liner systems to maintain the health of the environment around the disposal site.
Across the state, residents have seen a variety of problems and environmental concerns arise as a direct result of improper waste disposal. Several landfill fires have occurred in the state in recent years, many of which likely resulted from accepting non-permittable items such as automobile gas tanks. One landfill, the Ashbury site, violated a number of state environmental regulations over the course of nearly 20 years before state regulators finally intervened. Many landfills like the Ashbury site have been found to have PFA leaching issues as well.
And Alabama waterways are also ranked as 5th most polluted: rivers, bays, and creeks.
One particularly strange instance of contamination occurred when State Environmental Agency ADEM used rhodamine B to test a creek for water flow. Rhodamine B is toxic at higher contact times and in higher concentrations. As a result of this testing, the creek actually ran red for some time afterward. Not only has the environment suffered, but residents as well. As seen here, the previously mentioned Ashbury site is one example. Residents have complained of mountains of uncovered tires that have been left sitting. This has led to a massive uptick in the local mosquito population, driving many nearby residents indoors more often. In other areas of the state, residents have complained of foul smells from improperly transported or stored wastes. In fact, there have even been instances of residents having to sell their land near these landfills due to devaluation and the steep drop in quality of life. Many areas impacted most severely are largely populated by racial and ethnic minorities, raising concerns of continued environmental racism in the state.
Let's talk economics. In Alabama, it costs just $5.50 to dispose of a ton of waste. Much of this waste is hazardous and comes from all over the country due to Alabama's lax laws when it comes to the dumping of these hazardous materials. Many of these hazardous dump sites are near neighborhoods that are majority African Americans, such as the surrounding neighborhood near Stone's Throw landfill east of Montgomery, which was once vibrant but now grapples with the looming shadow of the hazardous landfill site. As reported by The Guardian, communities like theirs face immense challenges, from health risks to plummeting property values. Businesses struggle to thrive, and families face uncertainty. According to the article, residents cried out, "We're not a dump." Their voices echoed their frustrations as they fought for their livelihoods. With toxic stenches filling the air, who would want to invest in their neighborhood? Who would want to raise their children in such conditions? Residents across Alabama have raised their voices, hounding elected officials and attending public meetings. They describe the smell of the sites as similar to 25,000 people taking a dump around your house. National media attention prompted New York and New Jersey to halt the transportation of human waste to the Amel landfill. Hazardous landfills are managed on the state level, so it's up to the state regulators to address these issues. While some actions have been taken to address specific issues, the broader problem of hazardous waste disposal in Alabama remains a pressing concern. Advocacy, regulatory enforcement, and community empowerment are essential to ensuring environmental justice and protecting vulnerable populations from the harmful effects of toxic landfills. There is, however, hope for the future, as organizations like the Natural Resources Defense Council work to prevent environmental hazards and promote responsible waste management. There's only so much residents can do to convince state officials to tighten up regulations, but in the new age of media and social pressure, getting the word out about these issues can make all the difference in the world.